Hello and welcome back to Gloomhaven speedrunning. This is going to be an all classes speedrun. So as such, there will be very heavy spoilers for all of the classes and several scenarios along the way and all of the retirement goals. So if you don't want to see anything, I will have timestamps down in the description for each of the classes that I unlock, but definitely no guarantee that those will be spoiler free at all. And then especially in this beginning section here, I'm going to be talking about basically all the retirement goals for all the classes. So I routed this a couple months ago, back when I was doing brutal speedruns, but since there's no difficulty requirement on this, it's mostly played on easy. I did start on brutal, and you'll see why very shortly, but I wasn't really enjoying playing it on easy because I didn't have any routing done, so it was much better coming back to this after I had done some easy speedrunning, just trying to get those really, really low times. So I am coming back to this because there was someone else who submitted a run to speedrun.com, which made me very happy to see. I would love to have someone else running this and to get some competition going. And so since I saw that last night, or night before last, I spent all of yesterday, probably at least 10 hours playing this, trying to actually finish a run and solidify my routing a little bit. And I'm pretty happy with what I came up with. So, very beginning right here, these initial two classes that I'm going for are the Sawbones, experience an ally exhausting 15 times, and the Berserker, exhaust 12 times yourself. So, you can see that those two obviously they have very good synergy with each other. The Sawbones goal does not work when you exhaust yourself, only when allies exhaust. So I don't need my Spellweaver to die here, just the Mind Thief. But unfortunately, since the Spellweaver doesn't have any attacks that hit allies, no Cragheart and no Void Warden, if the bandits don't clear out my Mind Thief, then I have to take an extra turn. So ideally, I would have gotten experience 15 allies on my Void Warden or my Cragheart, but it didn't happen. So I just started creating the classes, starting with the squishy ones, because the most important goal is the exhaust 12 times, and you have to have that on a 6 HP class. But going through, so the next two I'm going to get are the Music Note, experience 2 allies retiring, and the Sunkeeper, kill 20 bandits or cultists. And these enemies in this first room are bandits. So you can see that this first room has everything I need to get those 4 retirements. Now, there is a very interesting glitch. I don't understand it, but I kind of know how it works. When all my characters are incrementing their retirement goals by exhausting, and allies retiring, when you kill bandits, for some reason it just multiplies that number by 4, since there are 4 people in the party and they're all accomplishing their goals. I don't know why, but it does. So it's something you can test yourself. If you have everybody accomplishing their goals and retiring, and you put someone killing bandits in there, it will just quadruple the number you have killed. As such, I will only be killing 5 bandits, but it will give me credit for killing 20. And I don't really have much else to say about it. I don't know how or why it works, but it does. So this should be, yeah, this is where I'm going back to town here. So the main thing this route is built towards are the classes that are difficult to unlock. So one of the hardest, you can see my very final split, is Circles. It's either complete 15 scenarios or own 4 enhancements. So owning 4 enhancements is definitely way faster. I just have to be Prosperity 4 for that to happen. So, and I have to have beaten the Frozen Hollow, scenario 14. So that one I will be getting last, just because every time you retire someone, you gain Prosperity. And so to get up to Prosperity 4, it takes a lot of Prosperity. Another really difficult one is the Night Shroud. The Night Shroud, you have to either beat 6 side scenarios or beat 2 in the Lingering Swamp and then go through the Fading Lighthouse, and it's a couple scenario chain, and it's just really slow. And then the final really, really difficult class to unlock is the Plague Herald. The Plague Herald you can unlock either through killing 3 Lurkers, 3 Spitting Drakes, and 3 Oozes, or beating 3 scenarios in the crypts, and then going through a 3-quest chain side quest. So doing 4 extra... I'll be doing 2 quests in the crypts, but I am not doing a 3rd. So doing 4 extra scenarios just to unlock 1 character is very slow and not good. So with these 4 characters in here, you saw that my first attempt at this room, I was able to get 2 kills onto my Cragheart and have 2 allies exhaust on turn 1. So that was very good. And then the Cragheart being able to damage allies is really, really nice. I made a huge mistake here. I should be targeting the bandit over on the right who has 6 health rather than this elite who has 5, but he has 2 shield. So all of my attacks into him are not dealing the damage that I want. It's a silly, stupid mistake. I could have ended this a turn faster had I just realized that. But I just need to kill this guy, and then I wanted my Mind Thief to die too, just because I wanted to make sure that I satisfied everything I needed for the retirement goal. I'm not exactly 100% sure how the Sunkeeper glitch works, so I just wanted to make sure I had as many deaths as possible. And so you can see all 4 of these are coming together here. So city events are very, very important for this run. First off, I need prosperity, so that makes a Spellweaver and a Cragheart the most efficient party for going for city events, because they each have one that raises prosperity that's specific to them. Secondly, I want negative reputation, because that is the only way that is fast to unlock the Night Shroud, is to get to negative 10 reputation. So I also need negative reputation. I am only doing 1 quest that will lower my reputation, and it lowers it by 5. So I need to get -5 reputation overall from city and road events. So it's very important for me to always pick bad ones and never pick good ones, but I do make mistakes. One thing that's interesting about this run is every time you unlock a class and every time you retire a class, it adds both a city and a road event. So during this run, I see tons of city and road events that I am not very familiar with, because I almost entirely have just done speedruns where I only retire 1 class, and so there are just a bunch of city and road events that I do not normally see that I do not have all of them memorized. Most definitely I do not. But yeah, so here I'm just looking for negative reputation for prosperity. And then the final one that would be amazing to see is to buy a map from a Valorath Sea Merchant or something like that. I just know if I see Valorath and Sea Merchant, it's the top option. That unlocks a side scenario that has lurkers. Lurkers are the most unfortunate part of this run and the heaviest RNG part. I will be getting probably about 20 city events throughout the run, but if I do not... I make a depressing mistake here. I forgot to lower the difficulty to easy, and I figured it out right here that my difficulty is on brutal, but there's no way for me to change it. I just have to eat the loading time of entering the level and leaving again. And also my computer's really, really slow. You can't really tell because it's sped up here, but my computer takes at least 10 seconds longer to load the levels than most other people's. Especially once it's been running for a while, it has difficulty. So that is very unfortunate. So these 2 classes that I am bringing in on this scenario, these are my main 2 classes to use throughout the run. So one of them is to have 200 gold in the hand. So any scenario that gives gold as a reward and has a chest that is worth grabbing, basically all of those I want to use my 200 gold character. And then the other one is to kill 20 unique monsters. So I have everything relatively routed out. There is heavy RNG in how I will be getting my lurkers, so that does definitely change things around the end of the run. But on my required scenarios to get to the -5 reputation, I will be seeing 15 different enemy types, and so my goal is to get 15 different enemy types killed on this unique character. So that is what I end up going for. So you can see in my splits, I just have them labeled by which character I'm bringing. So the next scenario, I will have my 200 gold character and my 4 bosses. 4 bosses will unlock the Doomstalker. And then if you look down at 4, 5, and 10, actually, I think that's not scenario 5. I think it's scenario 6, but it doesn't really matter. I will have the character that has to kill one of each of the demons. So I was mentioning the lurkers. Lurkers are very difficult. There are no lurkers early game in this game at all. You have to go very, very deep into the game before you can find any. And so I have my splits labeled in a path that will guaranteed take me to lurkers, but there are 2 city quests I can get that will unlock lurkers for me earlier. I would only do 1 extra scenario the other way if I get bad RNG and I do not get either of those 2 city events. And it's a relatively fast one. Plane of Night, you can beat it with a Berserker in like 2 turns, 3 turns if you don't have the right items. So that it's taking about 5 minutes to do those 3 turns, which is really unfortunate. I'm losing a lot of time here just because I entered on the wrong difficulty and I had to leave and come back. So I lost a crazy amount of time. I also I didn't get very lucky with creating classes on my second go at it. It was a while before I really got the classes that I was looking for. One of the really difficult parts of routing this is you need to know which classes are going together into which levels, so that and gold is another thing I'm looking for in city events. I forgot about that, but my 200 gold character really wants gold. The only thing I bought was a powered potion because it's just 10 gold, and you really want that extra damage since the Spellweaver in this case is going to be in basically every scenario. So it's very difficult to balance out your classes and know exactly what you want for everything. I don't really care which of my classes is the 200 gold and is the 20 unique monsters. I just want one to be a Spellweaver and the other to be the Hatchet, because those are the classes I have the most experience with for speedrunning. Then for kill 4 bosses, I want the Berserker, which, if you know the class, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then for kill 6 elements, I also went with the Berserker. Berserker is my favorite class, and I have a lot of experience with it from speedrunning. Unfortunately, the Mind Thief, the other character I use a lot in speedruns, is just not very good on easy, because it overkills everything. I had to take an extra turn here because my Berserker got immobilized on turn 1, which is unfortunate, but a turn goes by really, really quickly when there are no monsters acting, so not the end of the world. You would think that 69 is really slow for the Spellweaver to go in here, but it's actually not. The Bandit Commander, his cards where he opens the doors, I think the fastest one is 73. They are all slower than 69, so that's the only thing that you really don't want to see, is for that guy to be opening doors. And I actually didn't even manage to kill him on turn 1 here. He survived with 1 health, but it worked out well for me. I didn't get bad RNG of him opening the door, and my Spellweaver was able to clean everything up. So this scenario, scenario 3 of the Inox Encampment, it's one that I don't get to do on my other speedruns, so it's nice to have just a little bit of variety. It also adds 3 unique monster classes, so very good for my kill 20 uniques. But I think I have now touched on all of the classes and everything that I need to unlock. And so we can just get into the actual run and how it's going here. I'm just backing up and setting up my extra lift. Extra lift from the Hatchet has really, really good synergy with the Spellweaver. Just because you can set up Crackling Air to get extra damage. You get 2 extra damage on all of your attacks. And then this turn 1 here is just really good on a lot of scenarios. Bringing in a summon, setting up Crackling Air, getting the favorite and extra lift up. Now my Hatchet can fly anywhere on the entire map. My Spellweaver gets the extra damage from her summon, of course, and then I've got the favorite that I can use wherever I want. So a very important mechanic for Crackling Air, as long as you have a singular charge of Crackling Air up, if you use an AoE attack, that singular charge will hit every target. So that first turn where I used Crackling Air, if you look in the very top on this Spellweaver's portrait, you can see I have 1 tick left of Crackling Air. If I were to use an AoE attack and hit 4 targets, I would get 4 Crackling Air charges. So it's just a very nice, easy way to get extra Crackling Air. But I didn't use that in this scenario because there was only 1 guy in that room. But this scenario is going really well already. All I have to do is kill 10 enemies. Taking a little bit of time on deciding this turn. I should definitely be faster than that, but they are almost all dead. I just need to open up 2 more doors and don't need that summon anymore. It only attacked 1 time this go, but not too bad. Got my Reviving Ether in so that my Spellweaver will not be exhausted. It would be... I probably would have... It would have been faster if I had just activated Crackling Air there instead of going into that room. And that way I would have had the extra damage on both of those enemies. But I got a little bit greedy. I was wanting to finish the scenario really quickly. Also, at this point, I panicked for a second because I thought I hadn't killed any of the bandit guards with my hatchet. But he actually did. He killed the first one that spawned up at the spawner at the top. So I actually ended up killing 11 just because I had forgotten that he had killed one, and I have to make sure he gets kills for his unique monster goals. So I do end up killing both of these, but it's probably only losing like 10 seconds. And that is the Inox Encampment. There is a chest up in this top room for my 200 gold character, but unfortunately that chest, it just has an item design. It doesn't have an actual item, so there's nothing I can sell or anything. So scenario 4 is going to be the Crypt of the Damned. So this is where I'm going to start using my elemental, or well, my kill one of each demons. And you can see I'm at 5 on Trophy Hunt, so that is going well. It's really nice to just use these 2 classes in combination to go through these next 3 scenarios, because even though they're very early game, these 3 scenarios all linked together, they have every type of demon in them, and there are multiples of every type of demon. The only difficult one, or I mean kind of tricky one, is in this first scenario. This is the only one that has wind demons, and there will only be 2, so I need to make sure that each of these classes gets one of the wind demon kills. It wouldn't be the end of the world if that doesn't happen, but my kill 20 unique monsters class is very, very, very tight by the end of the run on actually getting these kills. Also, on scenario 1, I wasn't really talking about what I was doing at that point, but my kill 20 unique monsters did not kill any of the skeletons. So this is one of the opportunities for him to catch up on that missed kill. So I just need to make sure he gets one of these, which he will. Also, this is something I really should test, that I should know for sure. I do not think if something dies to a wound, I don't think it gives you credit for killing it. I'm pretty sure that it does not. So I need to make sure that I actually get the physical kill rather than just letting it die to the wound, which is really annoying because the easiest way to kill flame demons for sure is to let them die to wounds. On easy difficulty here, they only have 2 health, so they die very quickly to wounds. So I love this strategy here, getting my Berserker right in the middle. This is the strategy I use for brutal speedruns, so it's very strange to have a Berserker here on easy difficulty, and he just absolutely mows through everything. She mows through everything. But this scenario is going pretty well so far. And then Occultist is another unique kill here. So since I have I have crits turned off, crits and misses are turned off. So the worst thing I can do is get a minus 2. So even when I'm disadvantaged frequently, I won't bother moving outside of it because I can't miss. So right there, I needed a +1 to kill, or the hatchet, or using the favorite guarantees that I get the kill. So not bad. Also, on easy difficulty, these earth elementals don't immobilize. It's fantastic. It's so easy. So I'm able to, okay, yeah, I do get the kill here. It was a different run where I was attacking for one more than I needed, and I missed. That was very painful. So this final room up in the top left, it has the wind demons. I have the wrong cards. Somehow I have From the Brink instead of Blood Pact, and I never ended up fixing it in this run, which kind of really tilts me. Wanwa Disorienting Barrage is actually fantastic on easy difficulty. I mean, it just cleaved through that wind demon all by itself, and I could have very easily killed both of them with just the hatchet in that turn by power pitching that top wind demon. But like I said, I need the elemental kills on my berserker, so I have to save that guy. And then he went invisible that turn, although I wasn't going to be able to reach him anyway. And then I don't have any big nuke hits left from my berserker. My glass hammer is gone. My resolute stand's gone, so I can't guaranteed kill this guy. And then I was very hesitant to attack with the hatchet just because I didn't want to accidentally kill him. I think this ends up taking like a ridiculous number of turns because I'm gonna attack for 5 here, and yep, I get another -2. So very, very unlucky. I don't know, it's probably about a minute of time loss. This is at double speed right now, so it feels like it's been probably about 30 seconds. Oh, I still had glass hammer, but I was so low that it was not a powerful attack. But that's Crypt of the Damned, and I had these splits. These splits went through multiple iterations, and so at one point in time, I was trying early in the day yesterday. I was trying to beat 3 crypt levels, and so doing 3 crypt levels, I was beating 4, 5, and 6, and I have swapped out 5 for 6, but I didn't change it in my split names, and I went into the wrong scenario here. It's easier for me to remember the numbers than it is the names of the scenarios, but Decaying Crypt is wrong. I need the Ruinous Crypt. So that was a terrible mistake. Between the loading time, I think that took me a minute and a half of lost time. But I got the city event that I need, and at this point, I actually did not even know that that was possible. I did not know that that could happen. That city event is by far the best one because it unlocked a level for me, the Corrupted Cove, that has both oozes and lurkers. I literally did not even know that that was possible. I was planning on getting a level that has lurkers in the first room and killing them, and then doing the Oozing Grove to kill my oozes if I didn't get a side scenario that had it. But fantastic luck. It does only skip out on one level. It skips out on beating one level, the Plane of Night scenario 31, but it also means that I only need to go into that Corrupted Cove. I don't need to play 2 other levels. So this is another example where there are 2 night demons, and these are the only night demons I'm going to see in the whole run, I believe, and so I need to make sure that each of these get a kill on them. And so even though I used Cauterize, which has that wound, I did not hit the night demon with it, since you always have disadvantage attacking them. I didn't want to get a -1 and deal no damage with Cauterize and have it die to the wound and me not get the credit. So I just used my Resolute Stand to get the Retaliate, because Retaliate does give you credit for the kill. So this first room is done. I got unlucky with the Cultist summoning there on turn 1. You start disarmed in this scenario, and neither of these characters can ignore negative effects, so there's just nothing I can do about it. But there's another example of Disorienting Barrage being crazy powerful. And I messed up. I was supposed to buy a Battle Axe on my Berserker here, and then she would be able to stand right inside these 2 Frost Demons and kill both of them at the same time with that item. So a little bit of time loss, but luckily that skeleton did walk all the way down over to me. That's kind of nice. And I set up Defiance of Death on turn 1. Since I wasn't going to be able to attack anyway, I might as well just have a useful bottom. So my Berserker can't die here. So I'm very safe. Heal up to a multi-target attack. I don't think I get a kill on either of them here. Yeah, but very good damage. And then Growing Rage, since I'm low health, gives me an attack on bottom. And this scenario is completed. So yeah, you can see on my splits I'm losing 2 minutes, even though this scenario went relatively well. I lost time to the cultist summoning on turn 1, but most of that time loss is just from going into the wrong scenario. So I have a bunch of mistakes on this run. Sub 2 hours is 100% possible if you just play decently. But at this point, while I was doing it, I was kind of freaking out because I did not even know that Corrupted Cove was an option for me. So I was very happy. Unfortunately, that city event, it gives me a reputation, but it also gives me a prosperity. So I decided it would be worth it. But it did give me a reputation, so now I'm only at -3. But I have several scenarios. I probably have like 6 scenarios left before I need to be at -5 reputation. So this right here is my favorite strategy of the whole run. I was so proud of myself for coming up with this strat on the fly. So my Berserker has Retaliate, and I realized that even though these Flame Demons are moving, because of where that Flame Demon is positioned up top, and because of where I moved my Hatchet to over on the left, with 2 hexes of movement, that Flame Demon had nowhere he could go where he wouldn't suffer the Retaliate and die. And it was just such a cool strat. I was so proud of myself. I came up with that completely on the fly, and it's something that I think I can implement in my brutal speedruns. Because I go for a Retaliate on them. I just thought it was just a 3 in 8 chance to get it. It's also really nice because in the previous scenario, the Hatchet got all of the kills on Flame Demons. So that was one of the 2 demons that my Berserker had not killed. And then the other one was a Sun Demon. So with... Oh, actually, no, my Hatchet killed the Sun Demon there because my Berserker did not get a high enough of a pull. But the only demon left for my Berserker is a Sun Demon, and there is one in the next room. So I just have to make sure my Hatchet doesn't kill it. And then my Hatchet needs to kill an Earth Demon. So the final room is split up very easily. They've both killed Flame Demons. Hatchet needs to kill... nice. Get the kill with the favorite and get it back. Very satisfying. Hatchet needs to kill the Earth Demon, the Berserker needs to kill the Sun Demon, and then either of them can kill the Flame Demons. So I can just storm this final room as fast as possible, and then these classes are both fantastic. For easy, they overkill things very, very hard, which is really nice. Gonna step on this trap and die. I should have moved 1 fewer hexes because I should have realized that I would have to walk through this lava to get to the Sun Demon, but it wasn't an issue. It worked out. And then Disorienting Barrage here, pair it with Extra Lift, it's such a fantastic combo because you can position wherever you want to deal tons and tons of damage. And only 1 Flame Demon left to go, and that is another scenario in the books. Does my Hatchet? Yeah, Hatchet does get the kill here. So Hatchet, that should take him up to 12 unique monsters, somewhere around there. So he's over halfway done, and I'm about halfway done. Time-wise, I only have about 50 minutes left before I will be done. But then the first 20 minutes, my Hatchet wasn't getting any unique kills because it was just 4 different classes going. It might be more optimal to get those 4 classes at the end rather than at the beginning, but then I wouldn't have the Berserker for these runs, for these scenarios in the middle, and for the 4 bosses. So it's probably the best the way I do it. I'm not 100% sure. So unfortunately, my city event there, it gave me a reputation, but then my road event took it back. But I also got the sacrificial robes, which I was able to give to my Spellweaver just because they sell. I don't know why I got so hyper and eager and ready to sell them. I definitely should have held on to the robes and used them. There's no reason not to use them, but I don't know. I just sold them. They give me 25 gold, which is a very large amount of gold. It actually, because of the amount of gold I get from city events, I'm able to skip 42 gold later on, which is really, really nice. I made sure I didn't use my power potion on turn 1, or did I? I guess I did. But I wanted to make sure to leave at least one of those wolves alive, because that is another unique kill for my hatchet. This is the first time he's seen them. There is one wolf. Yeah, there's one wolf in the final room here. But I don't think my hatchet even survives to get that far. I'm pretty sure my hatchet dies really early, and the scenario is really tense. But spoiler alert, I do win. So this is an example of, like, I'm going disadvantage, but since misses are turned off, I can't miss, so there's nothing bad. I still have some charges of Crackling Air left, so I am not going to bring that down for my Reviving Ether. I'm just... That's right, I forgot about this mistake. I just grabbed the wrong card. I meant to Reviving Ether, and I could have fixed it if I had noticed it a couple seconds sooner and just not used the heal from Freezing Nova. But since it was a loss, I would have had... That turn, I would have lost a card. I would have one card in my discard, and I would have one card in my hand, and I would have exhausted on my Spellweaver, just because I meant to Reviving Ether that turn, and so this is what I wanted to do: heal myself, get that card lost, and then get it back with Reviving Ether. But that was just a egregious mistake. Super silly. Loses like 45 seconds to loading times. Not good at all. So using that attack there, you can see on top I have one charge left of Crackling Air, but one charge is all you need. You can hit 4 targets with it, but I was nervous. I was afraid that I would not win, and so I think I do not... I was afraid that my Spellweaver would go in and die to this elite, and so I don't go in here. Yeah, I stayed back. I figured that it would be, rather than getting the extra charges from my Crackling Air, it would be more consistent for me to bring my summon in. So I was able to get 2 hits with my Impaling Eruption, so almost have everything dead here using that Frost that the Frost even set for me. That was very kind of him. So now I just have these 2 Living Spirits left, but I'm very low on stamina. I think I have 3 cards left, but my only attacks are loss attacks. Yeah. You know what? I probably should have. I was really greedy here, because my Spellweaver is my collect 200 gold class. Oh, that is so terrifying. If if that Living Spirit had just drawn a +1, I would have died. I don't have any cards to lose. And if Flame Orbs had not gotten a 0 there, it would not have killed. But it all worked out, and I was able to use that Ride the Wind to get that chest in the back, which had 20 gold. So very greedy play there. If my Fire Orbs had not killed, I would have just restarted round and just done a default move 2, default attack 2, and then I would have been able to long rest and hope that my summon would get the kill. So I still would have had a chance, even if my Fire Orbs didn't kill. But it did, so I don't have to worry about that. I made a mistake here. I should not have leveled up this hatchet. I wanted to leave him at 2 because my 4 bosses character is at level 2. So now my hatchet being level 3, it makes them bump the difficulty up 1 when they go together. Also, it's another mistake because I grabbed the wrong card. On my easy speed run, I take the Sharpened Blades card, but I didn't end up using it at all in this run. The only reason I use Sharpened Blades are for Drake's Nest and Slave Pens, which are 2 of the harder scenarios in just like an any % speed run. But I do not need Sharpened Blades for these scenarios. They're very easy. I also messed up turn 1 here. I should have been using a jump with my hatchet. Oh, no. I replaced my jump with Sharpened Blades. So it was a terrible call overall. Like every part of it was just a disastrous mistake. So I have to use the Favorite for its jump. And then on my previous attempts, my hatchet had been my 200 gold character, so he didn't have boots. And so I didn't realize that I would actually be able to use my boots and reach that altar on that turn. So this scenario is going really poorly overall on this attempt. My hatchet should have killed that altar one turn sooner. Although I think in the end I end up waiting on my Spellweaver. She didn't get the kill. Since my hatchet hadn't killed the altar, my Spellweaver didn't get the kill on her Flame Demon. And so things are just not... things are not going well. I need to Reviving Ether to get Ride the Wind back. Either way, it's going to take me 2 turns to get into this final room and to be able to kill the final altar with the Spellweaver, so I definitely could have played this one much better. But it is easy difficulty, so it's not going to be the end of the world. Hatchet is already running out of cards, but he's played a lot of losses. Extra Lift is just, it's too good to not use. And then Spellweaver, she's healthy enough now that she's going to be able to handle anything now that she got all those cards back. I wasn't sure if Disorienting Barrage would hit the altar, and it does, which probably means that I make a mistake later in the run. It's a bad mistake. It loses at least a minute because there's a door that I need to kill, and I could have killed it with the bottom of Disorienting Barrage, assuming it would hit the door. I don't know 100% if it does or not, but that's something that I should know. I should have just tried it. But everything is destroyed. Just have to wait for these cultists to summon, which takes forever. If this weren't double speed, oh man. But that is another scenario done. And that I have now unlocked everything that I need. There's just some interesting routing quirks. If you do 21, scenario 21 before you do scenario 35, it will lock it. The Infernal Throne will lock the Gloomhaven Battlements. So I have to make sure I do the Gloomhaven Battlements before the Infernal Throne. This is also the scenario that I would get 42 gold in if I needed it on my Spellweaver. You get 30 gold for beating this level, I'm pretty sure. And then there is a chest that has an item that sells for 12. So since I got relatively lucky with city and road events giving me gold up until this point, I actually have 150 gold, which is exactly enough because the next level I do will give me 50. And so I was able to bring my hatchet to this level to get his kill unique monsters. This is the first time we've seen city guards and city archers. So this actually gives me 2 more unique monsters than I have listed in my route. These are... I have these like basically set as optionals because there are 15 monsters that my hatchet will see every time. Or, well, not necessarily a hatchet, but might kill 20 unique monsters. There are 15 it will see every time, and then there's like a list of 10 enemies that I can kill to get the final 5 that I need. So I can kill black imps, I can kill these city guys, I can kill cave bears, I can kill forest imps, I can kill oozes and lurkers and spitting drakes. Oh, and arcane golems. But it's really nice to go ahead and get a few of the kills here. Unfortunately, to beat this scenario, I have to destroy this door and to kill the boss. And I just got that -2 on attacking the door. And all my demon elemental friends get immobilized, like, over and over again. Somehow these archers are mobilizing with, like, every attack. So none of my demons end up helping me destroying this door, and I lose so much time to this door just not going down. It's really frustrating. And then my computer is struggling so hard. This wind demon just can't decide what he's going to do. But Berserker is exactly where she wants to be. 1 health right next to an enemy. So that's a kill. And then it would definitely be ideal for me to kill this door right here. Oh, but also my hatchet has not killed a city archer yet. So I did prioritize that. I hoped right here that my stupid allies would be able to destroy the door. But they did not. Right here, I 100% should have used Disorienting Barrage on that previous turn, and it does 3 true damage. But I wasn't, this is where I wasn't sure if it would hit the door or not. I just assumed that I could attack it for 2, and if I got the +1, that would be good. If not, then my allies surely would destroy the door. And they do not. So much time lost. I could have finished this 2 turns sooner. So this is probably like 2 minutes. So I'm not sure exactly what time is possible for this run, but it should be like a 155. Should be reasonable. I'm pretty sure I could get a 155 with just better play. And with a better computer, for sure, 155 would be possible. So that is only the second boss scenario that I have completed. It's really late into the run, and it's weird because there are a bunch of bosses that you get access to early. So this gave me my -5 reputation to unlock the Night Shroud. And now I have 150 gold on my Spellweaver, so she is going to go and get her 200 because this scenario gives you 50. And this is another boss fight, so I get to do 2 boss fights in a row. In my splits, you see the next one is labeled as 31, Plane of Night, with unique monsters and kill 4 bosses. That is not a boss fight, but my kill 4 bosses character has a lot of gold, and so I want to beat Plane of Night before my kill 4 bosses retires, just because it's very easy for me to buy enhancements. Like this jump on Strength and Agony is very important if I'm doing Plane of Night. That and boots and an invisibility cloak just make that scenario completely free in 2 turns if you have someone who can use something like Possession or Marching Beat 3 turns without it. Unfortunately, I took some damage there, so my glass hammer here is going to be dealing 3 less damage than it could be. And so I should have just ditched cards, and I think I would have destroyed the altar on this turn from this Spellweaver attack. Yep, yeah, if I had just ditched cards to not take damage from those other demons. But it's not the end of the world. I just have to kill the altar here, so 1 extra turn from playing a little bit poorly. But since I got good RNG, I got the city event that gives me lurkers. I do not need to beat Plane of Night, so I can just skip over that. And so that makes my splits, I have to skip basically like the rest of my splits up until the end, because my splits are made, I don't have any route written down. It's just all in my head because I was doing it all day yesterday. So the only routing document I have are my splits. So I basically have to skip everything because now I will not be doing it in the order I have listed. So scenario 8 I push off until later in the run because it gives me 2 reputation, but it is a boss fight. Also, this boss fight is much faster when your Berserker has jump enhanced onto Strength and Agony. So it just makes perfect sense for me to push this to the end, basically just after I have the Night Shroud unlocked, since it's going to give me 2 extra reputation. This chest right here also gives you a random side scenario, and so there are a couple that could be good. The best would be the Windswept Highlands, because that has Spitting Drakes, and then it just gives you faster access to killing Spitting Drakes than the scenario that I go for. Once I beat this scenario, the Gloomhaven Warehouse, that will unlock the Temple of the Seer, which has Spitting Drakes in it. It's just they're all the way at the back of the scenario, whereas the Windswept Highlands, they would be at the front. So that's just an example of there being RNG that there's not really much of anything you can do about it. It's just going to be a 1 in 8 chance to get it here, and there's a 1 in 8 chance to get it in the very first scenario. There are also either 2 or 3 scenarios you can get that have oozes that might be a little bit better than the Oozing Grove. Clockwork Coves has oozes, and then I can't remember what it's called, but there's a level that has forest imps and oozes. And so that forest imp ooze one is really good because I can go in with my kill 20 unique monsters, and 20 unique monsters can kill forest imps, which is one of the only places it has access to them. Beating this level also unlocks scenario 7, which has forest imps and cave bears if my kill 20 unique monsters needs a couple more. But I am at 19 now, and my big boy kill the bosses is done. So I just need to kill one more unique monster. But even though I have skipped the splits for oozes and squid face, I have not done oozes and squid face yet. That's why I did not split upon beating level 8. I'm going to save this split until I have the routes merged up again. So that should be what I'm going for here. I didn't see which scenario I went into, but yeah. So this is the Corrupted Cove. I need to get one unique monster kill on my hatchet. So either an ooze or a lurker will do. And then I need to kill 3 oozes and 3 lurkers with my Spellweaver. There are only 2 lurkers on this difficulty, or with this player count. So I will have to abandon at least once. I get really unlucky here, though. I decided to chip them down with my hatchet and then finish them off with my Spellweaver so that she would get the kill. But they got this crazy shield, and I miss out on the kill. Oh, ugh. What terrible luck. +2 and a -2. So my hatchet gets one of the kills. So there's his unique kill that he needed, but it does steal a kill from the Spellweaver. And since that guy had 3 shield and 7 health, I just didn't even bother wasting one of my lost cards to hit him, although I probably should have. So Disorienting Barrage to get me some damage here. I was planning on my summon taking out that lurker, and I just wanted my Spellweaver to come and start dealing with oozes. But in hindsight, it would have been better for my Spellweaver to just target the lurker because she kills my summon. And then also the oozes split this turn, so on the following turn I could have Flame Orbed them and killed 3. But you live and learn. This is my first time doing Corrupted Cove. I played it one time a very, very, very long time ago, but it's been like a year. But I just need one more ooze, and then my Spellweaver will be done with that part. And then she just needs to kill 3 lurkers. So I don't even have to finish the Spellweaver turn. You can just kill the monster and immediately abandon and retry, and it will give you the credit for it. So that is the game plan here. Just try to burst these guys as hard as possible, and if I get 2 kills, that's good. If I just get 1, then I can just try again on the next time, since I'll have to reset anyway. But nice big damage from my hatchet there. It's kind of awkward because I would love to use Eagle Eye Goggles to chip down the elite, but I don't want to use Eagle Eye Goggles and kill the little ones, so... But you can see from that reset right there, that was very fast. And we only have 10 minutes left in the run. We are almost done. I believe everyone has retired now except for my Squid Face. So that is all of the lurkers. They are all dead. Now I just need to kill 3 Spitting Drakes and my Squid Face will retire. And the final class will just be getting up to Prosperity 4. Unfortunately, doing 35A lowers my Prosperity by 2. And there's just not really much I can do to avoid that. I can't do it last. Just because it kind of blocks the way for too many other retirements. If I do 21, one of the boss scenarios, before I do 35, it will lock it, and then I won't have access to it anymore, and then I will be missing one of my boss fights. If I don't do 21, then my kill 4 bosses won't retire. 21 also gives me a prosperity. So I am getting back the prosperity that I'm losing. It just feels bad to lose those 2 prosperity when you need them to get up to prosperity 4. But in the end, it's not a big deal. I just have to donate to the church a bunch, which is something that I should have been doing basically throughout the whole run. That's definitely a huge optimization that I can make for next time. because I have many characters that retire with a bunch of gold that they could have been using. So turn 1 here, I just set up my Crackling Air, and then I wanted 3 characters on this scenario because it gives me 3 dragons to work with. And then both of these characters that I picked, the Mind Thief and the Music Note, they can throw an ally forward. So my Spellweaver was able to perform 2 move 4s right there without taking her turn yet. And then I got good RNG. The only bad thing that I really don't want to see is these Spitting Drakes getting a shield. But they didn't. They moved closer. So unfortunately, there are so many enemies that this scenario takes a long time. This is kind of a hard one. It's just a 2-room scenario. It might be like the hardest 2-room scenario in the game. But then I've got Marching Beat from my spell, or my Music Note, and so I was almost able to clear these guys in just one go. But boom, that is 3 Spitting Dragons. So that's why I go for the Squid Face like this. The whole route is basically built to get this Squid Face into the end game, where the only thing I have to do is go into a quest and kill some enemies near the beginning. But it's nice to get good luck and get those lurkers without having to beat 31 and 43. And then also I would have to fully beat 43. That is the Drake Nest. But that one you just have to kill 8 dragons. So if I was killing 3 Spitting Drakes anyway, it's basically the same speed. But that is the whole run. The only thing I have left is donating to the church until I get up to Prosperity 4. And then I have to create new characters until I get a have 4 enhancements. Once you have Wealth 4, Prosperity 4, when you create a new class, they'll start with 75 gold. And if you just use your enhancements correctly, if you use them wisely, 75 gold is enough to get 4. So that is all of the donations I need. And then I believe it takes me about a minute before I get this retirement. So not too bad. And that is the run. I'm pretty happy with this overall. I definitely could have played a lot better. But this is only my 6th attempt. So I have not invested a lot of time into this. I very nearly picked the wrong goal right there. I saw at the very last split second that my brute had access to what it needed. But that is all there is. I'm gonna pull up all the classes here just to confirm that I have them all, and I'm pretty sure I do. I have 21. I should know if that's all of them or not, but anyway, that is all I have for you. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Come on back for the next one. I do a lot of Gloomhaven challenges and speedruns. Have a good one, guys. Thanks.